Located to eastern and southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Amelia Lee. We start this morning with some overnight breaking news. Catholics around the world are mourning the death of Pope Francis. He died this morning at the age of 88. Tina Kraus has the details on the Pope's life and legacy.
From his first words as Pope,
Fratelli e sorelle, buonasera.
Francis displayed a humble style that earned him the nickname the People's Pope, often wearing plain robes and living in a small apartment at the Vatican. Born in Argentina in 1936, Jorge Bergoglio became a priest in 1969 and Archbishop of Buenos Aires in 1998. He earned another nickname there, the Bishop of the Slums. He rode the bus, cooked his own meals, and preached in the poorest neighborhoods. The Pope's humility was visible during his visit to the U.S. in 2015. He rode in a small car and his Pope-mobile while getting around in Washington, D.C., New York, and Philadelphia.
In the land of the free, at the home of the brave.
The Holy Father made history when he addressed Congress and celebrated Mass with hundreds of thousands of people in Philadelphia. The Pope also brought a message to U.S. Catholics to take care of those less fortunate. On the final day of his trip, he met with victims of sex abuse. In 2019, Pope Francis expelled disgraced former U.S. Cardinal Theodore McCarrick after a Vatican investigation found him guilty of sexually abusing children. He was the most high-profile church figure to be defrocked in modern times.
We ask forgiveness for our sins.
The move came just weeks before nearly 200 senior church leaders met for a landmark Vatican summit to prevent clergy sex abuse.
Nei confronti dei bambini.
Despite the clergy abuse scandal, the Pope worked at making the church more welcoming. He launched a worldwide survey on contraception, premarital sex, and homosexuality. The Pope said gay people should not be marginalized and famously asked, "Who am I to judge?" Francis made history in 2023, leading the funeral of his predecessor, Pope Benedict XVI. That same year, he celebrated the first decade of his papacy with the release of his first podcast, or Popecast. In an historic interview with CBS's Norah O'Donnell in 2024, the Pope addressed criticisms of his efforts to revisit teachings and traditions of the Church.
One thing is to take tradition into account, to consider situations from the past. But quite another is to be closed up inside a dogmatic box.
Francis, who had part of his lung removed when he was younger, battled a number of health issues in his later years, including hospitalizations for bronchitis. Supporters will forever remember him as a revolutionary pope, crediting him with choosing service and kindness over the power of the papacy. Tina Kraus, CBS News.
When Pope Francis received widespread credit for changing the tone of the church, conservative church teachings never changed during his papacy. Now it is time this morning to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal for a look at today's forecast.
We are starting off the day with clear conditions. However, that is set to change soon. As we look at satellite and radar, just some clouds rolling through, and you can start to see the beginnings of the rain that will be taking over for your Monday. And we'll continue to watch that over the next couple hours, even continuing for some cities into the early hours of your Tuesday. Here's a look at those current temperatures across the region right now, seeing the warmest as you travel more towards Monticello and Somerset. Keep in mind that they're going to have the coolest high temperatures. That's because they're going to see the rain first, whereas our counties closer towards Virginia and West Virginia will see the rain a little bit in the afternoon, leading to more warm temperatures throughout the day. Here's a look at the next 12 hours, seeing warmest temperatures in the midday hours. Amelia.
Thanks, Megan. Floyd County Central High School and law officials became aware of online threats made against the school. Kentucky State Police, Floyd County Sheriff's Office, and other agencies worked together to find the poster, who they say was a student. Investigators believe the student made the threat while using someone else's name. Today, officials say there will be added law enforcement at all Floyd County schools as a precaution. A Pikeville man was arrested this week, charged with sexually assaulting 3 of his stepdaughters. Officers with the Pikeville Police Department say they arrested 37-year-old John Yelton Wednesday after his stepdaughter was reported missing. Police discovered the girl went to a friend's house when the friend's mom called them to raise concerns. She says the 12-year-old claimed Yelton was sexually assaulting her and her younger sisters for years.
He was detained at that point, brought to the station for questioning. And then at that point, after waiving his Miranda rights, he made statements of several different cases of sexual abuse, sodomy, rape on all 3 children in the home.
Yelton is in the Pike County Detention Center being held on a $500,000 bond. A federal grand jury indicted Pike County Circuit Judge Howard Keith Hall. Hall is accused of stealing more than $400,000 by putting a dummy employee on the payroll when he was county attorney. He's charged with mail fraud and theft of government funds. The Kentucky Judicial Conduct Commission suspended Hall, who has not yet commented. The University of Kentucky canceled celebrations for minority graduates. This includes programs to honor LGBTQ+, Black and first-generation graduate students. Grayson Passmore has reactions.
Past students who went to school in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, a lot of us didn't feel comfortable being out as ourselves. So this little ceremony that we had, the Lavender graduation, I think was a healing process.
As the past president of Pride Cats, Tuesday Meadows says they started the graduation ceremony as a way to gather and celebrate their community.
Even past graduates like me, who graduated in the 1970s, we went through it too. We got our rainbow cord, so it really meant something to us.
UK said Friday that, quote, following a number of federal and state policy changes and directives, the university will no longer host identity-based or special interest graduation ceremonies. They said they'll continue to comply with the law while celebrating all students at the official commencement ceremonies.
It's kind of sad, not only for present students, but also past students.
The decision comes after the U.S. Department of Education in February directed all public universities receiving federal funding to cancel DEI initiatives. Meadows never thought their graduation ceremony or those honoring Black and first-generation students would face the same fate.
And I love University of Kentucky with all my heart, but I could see why some parents might not want their children to go there in the future.
In Lexington, Grayson Passmore, WKYT.
Meadows says the Lavender graduation ceremony was scheduled for the first weekend in May. Deputies in Laurel County are searching for a missing man. His name is Cody Taylor. You can see him on your screen right now. He was last seen on April 19th off of Blakely Road. He's 5 feet 11 inches tall and weighs around 140 pounds. Officials say he was seen carrying a duffel bag. Middle school students at Robinson Elementary in Perry County were given a lesson on seatbelt safety. Kentucky State Police Trooper Matt Gayhart came to the school with the rollover simulator. It's used to show what can happen to people inside a car during a rollover crash. Using life-size dummies, the students got to see the importance of buckling up.
Educate the students, what can happen if they're not being responsible behind the wheel and making other mistakes. And when they see that, hopefully it's something that will take hold and they'll be more responsible as they get older.
Students say this will make them wear their seatbelts, and they encourage everyone to buckle up. In less than 1 week, downtown Pikeville will be full of hillbillies. The Hillbilly Days Festival runs from Thursday through Saturday this year. There will be a beard and mustache contest as well as a kin calling contest. Ohio Valley Wrestling will also be there for the Appalachian Armageddon. There will also be a hillbilly car show, and Dwight Yoakam will perform at the Appalachian Wireless Arena on Saturday. We'll also have live coverage on Friday.